Pain is something we've all experienced. I want you to think of the worst pain you've ever felt and imagine living with that pain every single day. This is the reality for people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I know this because I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and have lived with the effects of it since then. Today I'm going to tell you what Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is and the effects it can have on the body. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is divided into 13 different subtypes. These subtypes are classical EDS, classical-like EDS, cardiac vascular EDS, vascular EDS, hypermobile EDS, arthrochalasia EDS, dermatose praxis EDS, kyphoscoliotic EDS, brittle cornea syndrome, spondyloplastic EDS, muscular contractular EDS, myopathic EDS, and periodontal EDS. The Ehlers-Danlos Society states that the Ehlers-Danlos syndromes are a group of connective tissue disorders that can be inherited and are varied both in how they affect the body and their genetic causes. They are generally characterized by joint hypermobility, which are joints that can be stretched further than normal, skin hyperextensibility, which is skin that can be stretched further than normal, and tissue fragility. EDS is diagnosed by a geneticist with a clinical diagnosis. The only test you can do for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a blood test for vascular EDS. This is because people with vascular EDS are missing a protein in their blood. The most common type of EDS is hypermobile EDS. This is the type that I have. The rarest type is vascular EDS. Because the people with vascular EDS are missing a protein in their blood, this leads to issues with tears to the internal organs and internal bleeding. This makes vascular EDS the most serious and life-threatening. EDS is a spectrum, meaning that even if you have the same type of EDS as someone else, the level of severity can be vastly different. Joint dislocations are the main cause of pain for people with EDS. This is because the ligaments surrounding the joints are too loose and stretchy, causing the joints to sublux and dislocate. Permanent dislocations can also happen. This is where the muscles spasm and hold the joint out of place for long periods of time, or the muscles and ligaments become too loose and weak to hold the joint in place. Braces can be worn to help support the joints and reduce dislocations, but there is no way to permanently stop these joints from dislocating. Skin fragility also occurs with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. People with EDS, their skin can easily be cut or torn, and these wounds can take longer to heal. This leaves them open to infection. When the wounds do heal, scars are abnormal and take longer to fade. These are called keloid scars. The skin of people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome has been described as loose and velvety by the National Organization of Rare Diseases. In conclusion, there are 13 different subtypes of EDS. EDS is diagnosed by a geneticist with a clinical diagnosis. The most common type of EDS is hypermobile EDS, and the rarest type is vascular EDS. Vascular EDS is also the most serious and life-threatening type. EDS is a spectrum, meaning that even if you have the same type of EDS, their level of severity can be vastly different. Joint dislocations are the main cause of pain and can lead to issues with chronic pain. And skin fragility can leave people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome more open to infection. There's currently no cure for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, though research is still ongoing. So I'm hopeful that someday in the future there will be a cure for this condition.